much money have you left on the table by waiting too long to pivot? What if I told you that the speed of your decisions was the speed of your money in your business? Today, we're answering the question, how does business data equal money faster? So let's talk about quick data, quick growth. It's coming from this week's blog entitled Why Speed is the Secret to Increasing Revenue and How to Speed Up. Okay. If you want to follow along, you can go to shaycannon.com/speed. That's shaycannon.com/speed. All week, we've been talking about ways that you can speed things up in your business so that you speed up your money. All right. Because some of us are taking just too long with certain things and we don't understand how that's backing our money up. So, the first thing that we talked about was you're launching too slowly. And some of that has to do with the fact that you are trying to make things perfect before you launch. And so the first strategy is you need to hurry up and launch. You need to launch ugly if that's what it takes. Okay. So we talked about launching faster, and I gave you 10 strategies and a ChatGPT prompt to help you to launch quicker. Okay. The next thing we talked about in part two from Tuesday was you need to monetize the learning curve when it comes to you putting these offers together. It's taking you too long. Once you start thinking about what kind of offer you want to give, how long is it taking you to bring it to the market? You need to hurry up, okay? I understand there are certain things you want to find out. You want to do market research. You want to make sure people want this. I want you to make sure too, but you can be getting paid while you're finding out, okay? So we talked about monetizing the learning curve. I gave you 10 strategies to do that and a chat GPT prompt, okay? Yesterday was part three, and we talked about that once you have sold this thing, you market it faster, you put this thing together faster. Now I need you to service it faster. You need to deliver fast so that you can grow faster. All right. So deliver that thing. Don't take all day. Don't take months and months on end. So we talked about 10 strategies on how to deliver faster so you get to the money faster and so that you can make more money in a smaller amount of time. So that was part three. Go back to yesterday's replay for that. Today, we're rounding out our series on doing things faster to bring in money faster. We're answering the question, how does business data equal money faster? Well, quick data, quick growth. Let me tell you why I created this ascension of faster stuff. Hey, Glow, we see you over here on the YouTube side. So first, I did marketing because a lot of us can market before we even put the offer together. So I put marketing first. We need to market faster. Next, we need to put this offer together faster. Okay. Even if you do offer first and marketing second, you still need to do both of them faster. Okay. But third is we need you to service faster. But once you service, all these things that you've done faster, market, put the offer together and service the offer, we should be getting data from that because that's what's going to make it better. And when we get that data, we need to be using that data quicker to make decisions that are going to get us more money faster. Okay, so that's what today is all about. So let's get into it. Data driven improvement speed is what keeps a business agile, relevant, and always one step ahead. The faster you can gather information, interpret that information, and apply that information from what you've learned, the faster your business is going to evolve in ways that matter to your clients and your revenue growth. This matters because businesses that wait too long to evaluate results often double down on the wrong moves. You're burning time and you're burning money while your competitors are adapting in real time. So some of you are not even collecting data. Some of you are collecting data and not even going back to review it. And still others of you are collecting the data, you're reviewing the data, but you're not even making decisions based on the data. Okay. So when decision making is built on clear, quick data loops, you not only avoid costly missteps, but also create a culture of continuous refinement. And that's going to compound over time. Like your business is only going to get better and better over time, and your money can come in quicker and quicker. Now, all this week, we've been using Netflix as the case study. How are they the case study for quick data and quick growth? Well, Netflix exemplifies this by analyzing viewer behavior at lightning speed. They use data not just to recommend shows, but to decide which content to greenlight, how to present that content, and even when to release the content. So their ability to turn rapid data collection into immediate improvements is what has made them not just a streaming service, but an entertainment powerhouse. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but at one time, um, Netflix had all the good movies, right? Almost every great movie from all the distributors, all the big movie houses went to Netflix. Then it seemed like everybody wanted to create their own streaming service, right? So Disney pulled their movies, Paramount pulled their movies because they started to have their own streaming services. And that should have been the end of Netflix, right? They should have immediately turned into a blockbuster if they was pulling all the good movies. But Netflix had already gotten so much data on what type of movies that their people liked, that their audience liked, that their subscribers liked. They started producing their own movies based on the data. Now, it used to be unheard of, but now we watch movies that were put together by Netflix all the time. And guess what else? All of the big movie stars are starring in these movies now. So they definitely took data and was able to grow with that data and make even more money. And we have to do the same, y'all. Okay? So that's what's in the blog. But here on the morning show, I give you more. So let me pop out these show notes. Okay, here we go. So I got you 10 strategies, and it really is 10 today. I made sure. 10 strategies to use data to increase revenue faster. Number one, I can't tell you enough about dashboards. Okay, dashboards. Centralize your most important data in a dashboard so that decisions can be made from at a glance data, not all the places you got the data from, right? So let me tell you how this is great. If you have hired a VA or you have hired an agency or a service provider, instead of having you telling you where you can go and look at the KPIs or the data, tell them to put together a dashboard so that you can get the things that are most meaningful to you, and only that. Like if I have to go in and look at the insights to Instagram, right? And I have to then go in and look at the insights for Facebook, and then go in and look at the insights for LinkedIn so I can know what's going on with my social media. But I have a company that's doing my content and stuff. They should put together a dashboard where I can look at that stuff all in one place. Okay. So that was an example, but let me give you another example. And well, hell, I didn't even read the thing. I just jumped into it. So centralize your most important business data in one dashboard so decisions can be made at a glance instead of digging through different scattered reports or different scattered platforms. So the example I pre-prepared for you was a marketing consultant builds a simple dashboard that pulls in lead sources, email open rates, and booked calls instead of you going to the individual platforms to see what all of it is. Also, when you are working with experts, have them give you a recommendation based on your data, okay? Based on the dashboard. All right, number two, client journey heat maps. We talk about client journey all the time, right? We talk about how there are basically 5 to 6 basic steps to most services, but sometimes you don't know where the breakdown is in that client journey. Like if things are not working with your processes, you may or may not know exactly where to go. Well, a client journey heat map can help you with that. And all you're doing is mapping where clients slow down, where they drop off, or where their disengagement starts to happen in your process amongst the steps, either in a step or when the steps connect, right? So what we want to do is adjust that in those points, and we want to speed up getting results and retention in those places. Example that I pre-prepared for you is a course creator tracks when students stop logging in. She redesigns the module where most drop-offs happens. And that's going to boost completion, and that's going to boost her sales. It's going to boost her retention and possibly referrals. Okay. Number three, micro polls in real time. We talk about this before, right? So instead of waiting to the end of something and doing long drawn out surveys and testimonials, ask single question polls at critical points during your service, right? The faster the input, the faster you can pivot. So, for example, a nutrition coach sends a one-click poll after the first week of the program. Are the recipes too simple, too hard, or just right? That's all she asking, right? And then by week 2, she can adjust based on that one little question and their answer to it. All right? Micro polls in real time. Number 4, decision work sessions. Decision work sessions. Again, some of y'all aren't collecting data. Some of y'all are collecting data. Some of y'all are collecting data and not reviewing it. So we have to, when we review the data, make decisions. That's how you make data-driven decisions, okay? You got to do all the parts. But a lot of us don't dedicate time specifically for that. So number 4 is about decision work sessions, okay? Run routinely, whether that's weekly, monthly, however often, okay? I'm gonna tell you this, the more often you do it, the better your business will be, but I'm gonna let you choose how often. So I'm just gonna say routinely. Run routine data review plus decision sessions so that you are improving things more often instead of waiting for long planning cycles or quarterly or annually. Okay. An example, marketing agency hosts a data work session every Friday to decide on the ad spend and shift it for the following week. Okay. So ad spend is a great example because you can't just turn on ads and not look back at that thing and then decide after a month, oh, I didn't sell nothing. You're supposed to be looking at that really by the day, but definitely making a decision by the week. Okay. Number 5, shadow metrics. And I just use shadow because it's popular right now for negative. Now we use shadow. Shadow is like negative space. So track invisible indicators or negative indicators. For example, email unsubscribes, call no shows, or low engagement. Because those hint at bigger issues and you can kind of get to it and solve it before they explode. The example was a business coach notices a spike in webinar no shows and pivots her reminder emails immediately instead of waiting until the launch ends. Okay. So if you see that these people are not opening your reminder emails, they're not being reminded. Okay. So we need to get in there and find another way to do it. We need to send them another one. We need to find another way to do it. Maybe we do invite them to a live something where you give them a little something, a little tip, and then you remind them on that live that, hey, you need to show up for this event. Okay. But you don't wait till you just all of a sudden have no shows at the event when it's too late to then try to deal with the problem. Number 6, client-led content tracking. Client-led content tracking. So analyze which resources or lessons or content that your clients access the most. Then double down on that stuff. Okay. This is, again, something you need to be doing routinely, weekly. I wouldn't say this is a daily thing. I would say in the least it's a weekly thing, but definitely by the month. Okay. An example, a productivity coach sees that her clients download the weekly planner template 10 times more than anything else that she's put in there as tools. Now, what she knows is she can, as a part of her messaging, say that this is a tool that everybody uses. This is a tool that my clients have found most helpful. But also, she might can even create a whole nother event around just that tool. Make it a VIP day, make it a workshop, bring in more money. Okay. Number 7, 90-10. 90-10. This is a data review. Okay. So a lot of people are like, what should I, when I'm talking about data, how should I spend my time? Well, spend 90% of your review time on what's working best, not what's broken. Okay. It accelerates scaling the right things. So recently, I'm gonna say within the past 2 years, I heard something that I think I naturally did, but I had not heard anybody advise people to do it. And that is, people usually tell you find out what your weaknesses are and strengthen them. Right? I heard that more years than I heard in the last 2 years. What I heard is find out what you're good at and double down on it. This is where that comes from. Okay. If you're already good at something, streamline and focus on that thing and really see how you can use that to your advantage. So, for example, a business coach notices that her group program participants rave about the weekly hot seat sessions. Okay. Far more than the lectures. Instead of her spending time trying to get these lectures up to speed, she's going to overhaul the curriculum to double down on expanding hot seat time and even spin it into maybe a separate offer like hot seat coaching club. Okay. So spend time on the thing that is really shining, rather than going over there and trying to fix something that maybe is not working, maybe never work, may still make all your stuff mundane and typical. If something is working really well, let's double down on it. Okay. Number 8, instant win data sharing. When you have clients and you're hitting their goals, or they have these small wins or these large wins, you need to instantly share that back to them. Boost their confidence, boost their momentum, boost their satisfaction with your service. And an easy example of that is a social media manager shows a client that within 48 hours, their first reel hit 2,000 views, keeping them excited and engaged. Shawana Kennedy Media does that all the time. She's great at that. Number 9, decision trees for speed. I've talked about decision trees before. I've shown you examples of a decision tree, but basically what it is it's a pre-built, if this, then that. That's a decision tree. If this happens, then do this. If this happens, do that. Okay. And we want to use those to eliminate hesitation when data moves. Okay. Because all data shifts don't take a meeting, and we don't want to wait for a meeting. So, for example, a sales coach sets a rule that for her sales team, if a call conversion drops below 20%, that means you're converting less than 20% of people you have on these sales calls, then you immediately need to adjust that script. Don't wait for it. Don't debate about it. Don't have a meeting about it. Change the script immediately. Okay. Number 10, last but not least, forecasting by micro trends. All this means is instead of waiting for quarterly reports, track the small trends happening over months or over weeks or over months, so that you can forecast what demand could look like based on these trends. Okay. Example, a career coach notices a sudden spike in LinkedIn requests about AI proof careers, or a spike in questions about it. So she then pivots her next offer or her next lead generation tool to ride that wave immediately. So, what are people talking about? What's the hot topic, the hot take in your industry? And how can we use that to either create an offer or bring in new leads for our current offer? All right. So, those were our 10 strategies. Let me get this question of the day. And we do have a prompt for today also. I'm going to put both in the studio. The rest of you guys can get it from the show notes. All right, Glow and everybody else watching, here is our question of the day. And that is, what data associated with your brand could you collect and make decisions on more often to increase your revenue? And which of the strategies mentioned today could help you with that? Okay, so think about your brand. What is it that you need to be collecting data on, that if you made a decision based on that data, you know you will make more money? Okay. And was there a strategy from today that will help you? All right. So that is the question of the day. We're going to start with Dr. Tachi after I recap our 10 strategies. Okay. So, our 10 strategies, top 10 strategies to use data to increase your revenue faster. Number 1, use dashboards. Okay. Use dashboards. Even if you don't have a team or a service provider to supply you with a dashboard, create a dashboard for yourself, so that after you go through all the different platforms, you have one place to enter your stuff, so that when you want to look back on that month's data, you're not having to go back through the platform. So, dashboard. Number 2, create a client journey heat map. Figure out where things are dropping off so you can know the exact point to try to improve. Number 3, micro polls in real time. Micro polls are smaller polls, smaller questionnaires and surveys. Ask right then, how are things going? So we know how to go ahead and pivot for higher satisfaction. Number 4, decision work sessions. We need to create and schedule time to look at the data collected and make decisions on them. We need to do this routinely. Remember, I said I'm not going to pick for you, but at least you need to be doing it weekly. Okay. Number 5, shadow metrics, or look at the negatives in things, right? So track your your unsubscribes, your no shows, your low engagement, and all of those things, so that we can see if it's hitting at something bigger that we need to upgrade. Number 6, client-led content tracking. Client-led content tracking really is kind of like client behavior. Where is your client seem to be the most satisfied, or use something that you've created the most in their time spent with you? Or what did they say was most helpful? We need to double down on that, possibly even create a whole nother offer around it. 90-10 data reviews, okay? Let's figure out what we're doing great at so we can double down on it. Because everything we're not doing so well at doesn't mean we need to spend time over there. We can make more money in a shorter amount of time if we double down on what's working. Okay. Number 8, instant win data sharing. All the little wins, all the big wins, medium wins, share them with your clients immediately. Number 9, decision trees for speed. Go ahead. Some things don't need to wait for a meeting. Some things could just, you give them a threshold, and once something passes that threshold, they should know what to do. Number 10, forecasting by micro trends. This is taking what is happening in the world. What's the hot topic? What's the hot take? What's the buzzwords? All these things going on. And we're going to immediately use that to either create a new offer or create a new lead generation tool for our current offer. All right. So those were the 10. Let's start with Dr. Tachi. What data associated with your brand could you collect and make decisions on more often to increase your revenue? And which of the strategies mentioned today could help with that?
That's a good question. And in terms of data collection or data collection,
Mm-hmm.
data, I'm actually looking at the indie soup side of things now
Mm-hmm.
because that's what's running. I'm actually quite good with looking at the data and understanding what that means because I'm doing it almost daily.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
I like that. I'll tell you what comes to mind to me.
okay.
Because you have an array, because it is a lifestyle channel, right?
Yeah.
You have an array of subject matters, but a lot of subject matters kind of fit in the same group. Have you, from your data, do you know which ones are working better than others? Because how that can help you is, as you are bringing in new creators, you might say, "Hey, this little business genre ain't doing that well on this lifestyle. We're gonna leave our little business people alone, but I don't want no more business people." You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want you, like, when you know that we're looking at viewers, right? And viewership, we want to kind of know what's working. So maybe we can double down and find another angle to bring in another creator in on this topic that seems to be hot right now. So even if it's like limited time series, it's probably worth doing.
Yes.
Because when you get into the advertising, I mean, you're going to need to be able to impact readership. I'm not readership, but viewership. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool beans. All right. Let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, which data or what data associated with your brand could you collect and make decisions on more often to increase your revenue? And which of the strategies mentioned today could help you do that?
The one, I like a couple of them. One that I'm dealing with right now, that I like is the let's see, the shadow metrics. So like I'm trying to figure out why people, I can get people to subscribe, but like then I can't get them to like actually, even though they open up the email, to like come to the webinar and like numbers that it should look like based on subscriptions. So that one, the shadow metrics, I guess I have to figure out like how to change stuff for the webinar because I'm not trying to run ads to
Yeah.
get more people, and I have that issue on the back end. So
So when you say subscribers, do you just mean people who signed up for the webinar?
yeah.
Okay, so what that should tell you, because see that right there is the almost like the client journey, right? So that
Yeah.
step, you got them to sign up, but you can't get them to show up. So now you need to do a show up campaign, right? You need to
Uh-huh.
have some incentive. Like if you show up, then I'm gonna give you this extra, and then when they show up, if you stay to the end, I'm gonna give you this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what that's telling you. So that metric is telling you they'll sign up. So that means that the title that you're using, the subject matter that you're using, is attracting them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're going to have to find a way to keep them engaged. So I wouldn't even put it in a follow up email. I would put it in the confirmation email, and maybe even the sign up page what the incentive is. Because if the problem is they're not opening the emails to be reminded, they're not going to open the email to find out about the incentive. So don't wait. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. And whatever, let's just say you did an event that that event is where they got traffic to go to the sign up page. Tell them in the event what the incentive thing is. Tell them again on the sales page. Tell them again on the confirmation page, so that they have that incentive to show up.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just because it doesn't make sense. It's like your pain is bad enough that you give me your email. Most people won't do that if they don't care, and then you open it like this says we started, and you're not coming. So yeah, all right.
Cool beans. Love that. Love
Thank
that.
you.
All right. Dr. Latoya Davis, what data associated with your brand could you collect and make decisions on more often to increase your revenue? And what strategies from today could help you with that?
I think the shadow metrics also sound good for me. And you said, I don't know where this fell in those, but you said double down on what you're good at. I think
Yeah.
that logically I know that and I say I'm going to do that, but then I get distracted by the other things. So like really being committed to
Yeah.
doubling down on what I'm good at.
Yeah. And you might need a sticky note reminder. You know what I'm saying? You might need something in your face because it is our inclination, our natural inclination to fix what's wrong, right? Especially, let me tell you, depending on how you was raised, you're gonna run to try to hurry up and figure out what's wrong and fix it, right? So yeah, you might need a conscious reminder because it's not consciously in your head innately. So maybe maybe you use a certain notebook or a certain spreadsheet when you go to look at your data or whatever, and maybe at the top you need to have bold highlighted in yellow 90-10. Let's focus on and double down what's 90% right. You know what I'm saying? So that might need to be what you need to do. Cool. Let's go to Shawana Kennedy, Kennedy Media. What data associated with your brand could you collect and make decisions on more often to increase your revenue? And did any of the strategies today could help you with that?
Yes, of course, several of them that I need to be mindful and keep them in the forefront. But the one that immediately stuck out to me is the number 4, I believe you said, was the working session.
Mm-hmm.
I really do have to have that as a planned working session. And I don't, even though I do monitor, and I have to publicly show the instant wins with, I believe that was number 8. And yeah. But that decision making working session stuff, that was like slap me in the face.
Me too. And what I recognized was it's helpful that I do that. But what I recognized was I couldn't have just one, right? So I have one weekly that is on specific KPIs because that change weekly could have a high impact. Then I have one that's monthly where I'm looking at another set of KPIs. Then I have some that I'm looking at quarterly. And then, of course, we're having some that we're looking at annually. So I'm not necessarily looking at the same ones all the time, right? And then there are some I look at daily, right? So I look at the fact that when I say something on my account about my business or about an offer or about joining the group, that people aren't paying attention. So that's why I had to go back into giving y'all these daily tidbits on my life and showing you this and showing you, because now that's bringing more eyes. So when I say, hey, we talked about this today, you need to join the group. Now more people are seeing that. You see what I'm saying? And I look at that daily. So we just need to know there are some KPIs we're going to look at more often than others. And sometimes we're looking at the same KPIs at different times. So keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
you're right. You are so right.
Cool. Let's go to Heather. Heather. Hey, Heather. I know Heather be like, this data shit is a slap in the face. I know. But what data associated with your brand could you collect and make decisions on more often to increase your revenue? And which of the strategies from today could help you to do that?
So number 1, forecasting for micro trends.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe AI is not a micro trend that feels very macro to me, but I think there's some things within that could be done. But I also, number 4 is to set aside the work session because, body doubling is a thing and it works for me.
Yeah.
So if we did a group one, that'd be fantastic.
Cool. I wish you were in a membership that had about 4 of
Oh
those
my
in it.
God, I'm going
Yeah.
mute again. Goodbye.
All right. Over here on the YouTube. Just saying. You're paying for it. All right. Over here on the YouTube channel, Glow said, shadow metrics, bringing more people to sign up for email lists, and also more listeners. This is for my Conversations with Glow podcast. Cool beans, Glow. I love that for you. Most definitely. All right, y'all. So we talked about speeding up stuff, right? We talked about speeding up your marketing. We talked about speeding up creating these offers and getting them to market. We talked about speeding up your service. And today we're talking about all the data that we get from all this speeding up and not waiting until we're perfect. So that now we have the information to perfect it. Now we need to speed up implementing to have a better brand, right? Better offer. So does anybody have any questions, any value adds, any aha moments from this speeding things up so that we're getting to the money faster? Anybody? All right. Well, let me tell you what the chat GPT prompt is. I'm just going to read it to you. So you're going to say my client, my ideal client is, insert the blank. My service offer is, insert in the blank. Okay. And then you're going to say, use the following list to give me 5 recommendations for each of what for each. Lord, I love messing up myself. So you want to basically say recommendations for each of the strategies on what data you need to collect and what decision you can make from that data that will be most impactful for making more money faster. And then you're going to list all the strategies and it should give you 5 each. And for each of the 5, it should give you the data you should collect and the kind of decisions you can make from it. Okay. Reword it to make it sound right. Y'all know I need to hire Heather for editing, but I ain't got time. So here we go. Let's talk about what we're doing in the free business mastermind tonight is movie club night. Okay, now I told you yesterday I'm doing something different this month. When I thought about what movie, I was like, you know what, before this year is out, and Lord knows it is creeping up, Lord, by the top of what is it, next week, it's already a new month. So I was like, I want to make sure that you guys know what marketing is, and I want to go to the source of who taught me what marketing is, and that is Seth Godin. See Jesus, Godin. I call him the godfather of marketing. And there are 2 specific interviews that gave me an understanding from his brain on what it is and how we should be using it. There are 2 YouTube links that I put in the group. If you watch both of them, it totals about an hour and 39 minutes. So it's still kind of like movie length. I want you to watch that. And you are to watch it before 7 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time. And we're going to discuss it at 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. What business nuggets did you pull out? What did you learn that you didn't know before? What is something you're excited about implementing? This can only make your brand and your business better. If you can't join us tonight for the discussion, go in the group, get those links, and watch them on your own time, and still make some notes on how you can get your business marketing better. Okay, because this marketing is about more than social media. It's about true marketing for business in general. All right. Who means Sunday in the paid group only. We're going to end our 14-day August goals momentum on Sunday night. So join us for that. This 14-day momentum strip, what is it, sprint that we do for goals, this is dang near worth the cost of the whole membership, because this is where people get results. So if you want to join us, go to shaycannon.com/membership. All right. Monday is Labor Day. Did y'all know that Monday was Labor Day? It is. And so guess what I'm doing? Not meeting here live. So next week we'll meet on Tuesday and we'll have a 3-day series on next week. So I want you to enjoy your holiday. And with that, this has been the Her First Six Figure Morning Show, which is more of an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and Brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first 6 figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, and plus links to resources like how to join that free business mastermind group, and how to get the strategies from my show notes from today and recent past episodes. Go to the description below. All right. If you have not already, we're asking you, pay us back for this good information that you got and give us a thumbs up and like the episode. Also, make sure that you're subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a thing. And this today was the last video of a 4 video series. So make sure you check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your holiday on Monday. And we will see you right back here on